everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Well, you guys have been asking me for actually a couple years now if I could start using sea moss in some of my formulations. And today we're going to do just that. We're going to be making a cold processed soap using gold sea moss. And actually I can't believe I haven't jumped on the sea moss trend sooner. Because as it turns out, sea moss is amazing for your body inside and out. So it has a bunch of minerals. It has almost all the minerals that your body needs. It's full of collagen, which is great for your skin because as we age, we lose that collagen, that bounciness and that elasticity to our skin. And sea moss is a great vegetarian way to get that collagen. And collagen is also very good for your joints and your tissue health. So I'm super excited to be sharing this with you today. And I just think that you're going to love this formula that I come up with for the cold processed soap. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this cold processed soap, including step-by-step how to process the sea moss for the soap. But if you would like the full written recipe plus tutorial, please visit my Patreon campaign. The link is in the description box below, and you can unlock this recipe for just a $5 pledge. In fact, you can unlock all the recipes I've ever published for just a $5 pledge. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're making your sea moss soap is go ahead and process the sea moss. Now, this is what it looks like when it comes to you. It's just dried out. This one looks fairly clean, although you can see in here there's like some sand and some salt residue from the sea. So we want to go ahead and clean off our sea moss first. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I am using the organic Gold Sea Moss Raw Wild Crafted brand from St. Lucia. It's non-GMO, it's gluten-free, and it's 100% natural. So we are going to go ahead and clean it off. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so all I've done is I've added some cool water to my bowl and just covered up the sea moss, and then we're just going to come in here and we're just going to wash it. So like I said, this comes from the sea, so it's going to have bits of sand, bits of salt stuck to it. So you can see how the water is turning not so clear anymore. So we just want to do this in the bowl. Wash it, kind of scrub it off. Okay, so as you can see, the water is no longer totally clear. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to dump this water out. And we're going to refill it 2 more times or until the wash water becomes clear. So we're going to dump this water, refill it, and do it again until the wash water is clear. And I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done washing it. Okay, now I've done that a total of 4 times and my water is nice and clear. So what I'm going to do now is dump out the wash water, and then I'm going to pour some distilled purified water over the top of this. Okay, so all we want to make sure and do is we're going to pour in enough distilled water, purified water. Just want to make sure your water that you're using is not from the tap. You don't want any heavy metals or anything soaking into this. So we are just covering up the sea moss. It's going to double in size, if not more. So you want to make sure you're just pouring enough water, cool water, over the top of this, and then you're going to cover it and let it sit for 12 to 24 hours or longer if you like. I went ahead and let mine sit overnight, so I wanted to show you what that looks like. I did process some ahead of time so you could see what that looks like. So I'm going to move this one over. So this is the one that I've been soaking since last night. And as you can see, it's a big difference. So the sea moss now is totally rehydrated and it is totally grown in size. It's also taken on a much different texture than its dried out form. It actually feels like seaweed in the ocean. So that's what it looks like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to puree our processed sea moss. We're going to go ahead and puree it until it gets very smooth. So I'm going to bring you over to the blender and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm using a high speed blender, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick up all my sea moss, and I'm going to drop it in. I'm reserving the water that it was soaking in because I'm probably going to use some of that water to smooth out my sea moss. And I would like to use this water because it's been infused with the minerals from the sea moss. So I'm just going to start by pouring a little bit in there and see how we like that consistency. I'm going for a very smooth sort of, I don't know, I guess baby food consistency. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get it blended up. Okay, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and add in some more water. It's just a little bit too chunky for my liking. Okay, so I have used almost all of the water that the sea moss was soaking in to blend this up because, like I said, I wanted it to be a consistency like baby food, and I've gotten that. That took several minutes of blending and adding in the water, and as you can see, it's a very like kind of gelatinous, smooth texture. So we're not going to be using all of this in the soap, but we are going to be using some of it in the soap. And if you do run out of water, you can add just natural spring water or distilled water in here if you run out of the water that it was sitting in. But I just think that's a beautiful texture. We're not going to have any chunks in the soap. It's going to be very, very smooth. All right, I'll bring you over for the next step. Okay, so the next step here is to actually make the soap itself. So we're going to be adding in the sea moss at trace. So what I have here are my melted oils and butters, and today I'm using avocado oil. It's a super hydrating, beautiful oil for anti-aging, and olive oil, which is very gentle, castor oil for its bubbles. We're using palm oil for its hardness, and we're using coconut oil for its cleansing properties and bubbles, and we're using shea butter for its lovely moisturizing properties. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pour in my lye and water solution directly into my melted oils and butters. Also, I forgot to mention that the rest of that sea moss that we're not using for the soap is going to go into a jar. You can store it into the fridge for up to 4 weeks, I guess, 3 to 4 weeks, and you can add it to your diet. You can put it in smoothies or applesauce. Okay, so just going to give that a hand mix, and then we're going to go ahead and use the stick blender on low until we reach a light trace. Okay, now this soap today is going to be a completely all-natural soap, and I do know that sea moss can make your soap heat up and speed up trace a little bit. So it's actually going to be the last thing I add here. So we are going to be using some French green clay. This is just dispersed in water to color the soap today. Just a little bit at a time until we get the desired color. I believe we're going to be using all of that, so I'll go ahead and pour that in. Now this is going to give the soap a nice, natural, sort of light green, beigeish color. And clay is also really good for just detoxifying and drawing out impurities of the skin, so it's a nice thing to have in the soap as well. So to this, I'm also going to be adding in an essential oil blend, and this is just eucalyptus essential oil, it's peppermint essential oil, and also tea tree essential oil. So it's just going to have a very nice, lovely, fresh, beautiful, invigorating fragrance. So we're going to give that a blend. So now is going to be the perfect time to go ahead and add in the sea moss, and we're just gonna hand stir it in at first. Get my paper towel. Okay, we're just gonna mix this in by hand at first. See how it takes on a gelatinous type of consistency? So it is going to need to be blended in. I first just want to go ahead and get that mixed in by hand, and then we'll come back through and blend and make sure it gets evenly dispersed. Okay. Okay, as you can see, that sea moss is thickening it up quite a bit. So I'm just going to give it another little blend here before we pour it into the mold. And it's taking on a nice light green, beautiful kind of sea green. All right, it's thickening up quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and pour that into the mold before it gets too thick to pour. Just such a beautiful soap. It smells really invigorating, very fresh. Okay. Do have a little extra soap here. Okay. Just going to tamp down. Just getting all those air bubbles out. Okay, so we're gonna take a chopstick and just swirl the top, and then actually I have some chamomile flower buds that I wanted to add to the top just because I thought the color looked nice. This natural color looks nice with the chamomile flowers. So I'm just gonna come through here and make a figure 8 design on top. Okay. Actually, I'm going to let that set up just a bit, and then I'll come back and do a figure 8. All right, let's try that again. There we go. That should hold my figure 8 design a little better now. It's a little more set up. Okay, and then I'm just going to come through here with some chamomile buds. Now, you guys are going to ask me, where did you get your botanicals? So these particular chamomile buds I got from Nature's Garden. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm just going to put them, I usually put these directly down the middle, so I think that's what I'm going to do again. I just think they look pretty like that. And I'm trying to find the pieces that have like actual flowers on them. Of course, you could use this for lots of different applications, infusions and teas. Oh, that looks really pretty, actually. Really liking that. Okay, so that's going to do it for me on the botanicals. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a good spritz with some 99% rubbing alcohol, just to kind of seal in those botanicals and also to prevent soda ash from forming on the top. There's a little piece floating there. There we go. I'm just going through and kind of pressing down the pieces that I can see are not firmly in place. Okay, everybody, that is how you make a beautiful, all-natural sea moss cold processed soap. Please stay tuned for the cutting and the stamping of this beautiful soap. All right, everybody, we're back to go ahead and cut this beautiful sea moss soap. I absolutely love the way it turned out. I love the soft kind of beige off-white color. I think it's the perfect color for this soap, and it smells amazing. So it's been about 24 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and place it on the cutter. Now I'm putting my botanical end down this way so that when I cut the soap, the flowers don't drag marks all through these bars. So this way we will avoid that. Now this soap did not gel and it did not overheat. All right, I'm going to just show you a few of these because I told you I was going to show you how I stamp. So I'm just going to show you since they all look the same. I'm going to give you a little demo on how I stamp these. Just a really gorgeous, all-natural, beautiful soap. All right, so I get asked a lot about how do you stamp your soaps and where did you get your soap stamp? So I thought I would show you that now because I don't think I ever have. So basically, I just got this acrylic soap stamp. I've had it for years. I purchased it on Etsy. If you just go into Etsy and you search acrylic soap stamps, these will come up. And it's worked perfectly. I've had it for years. So this is all I do. I either use a paper plate or a piece of parchment paper. I just put my soap down flat. Now this is the trick. So what you're going to do is, you always, at least for me with my recipes, I stamp my soaps right after I cut them. I take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, I spritz down the stamp side. This is going to prevent the soap stamp from sticking or ripping into your freshly cut soap. And then I take a rubber mallet, and that takes a little bit of practice, getting the right pressure. And there you have it. Just gives a nice, beautiful, finished look to your soap. So we'll go ahead and stamp a few more. And I spritz it between every stamp, center it, and carefully lift it up. All right, we'll go ahead and stamp one more, and then I will show you how beautiful this soap lathers. All right, we're back to go ahead and do a lather test. Now I've just sliced a little piece off of an edge piece here. We're going to go ahead and get some water going. Okay, right away I get some beautiful, copious, moisturizing bubbles. Oh my gosh, so I'm totally obsessed with this. It's got the most creamy, decadent, gorgeous lather. I think it's my new favorite. There's something about the sea moss that gives the soap like body and viscosity. It's almost like when you add glycerin to your soap products. It is absolutely creamy, gorgeous. You could absolutely use this on your face too, although I would probably change the essential oil blend to lavender or geranium if I was going to use this on my face. Oh my gosh, I'm totally obsessed. Absolutely am totally loving this. So of course the soap has to cure for 4 weeks time, so we're going to go ahead and let it sit for 4 weeks. And that's it for today. I hope you loved this video, and if you like this content and you want to see more of it, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Catch you on the next video. Keep shining.